Welcome, my friends. Seven Gray here. Thank you for joining me today for this episode, a continuation on my series of passive income for digital nomads. Most of you doing full-time RV living, van life, digital nomads traveling the world are oftentimes trying to support yourself and continue your passion for travel. And there's two ways to do that. One is active income and the other is passive income. So what is the difference? It may seem obvious, but if it's not obvious to you, which I don't think it was super obvious to me because we don't talk very much about passive income in our society, in our culture here in the Western world, United States and Europe, the focus is on active income. So active income is anything that requires you to continually put effort into to generate dollars. A typical job that you go to where you say you go to a tire store and all day long you're removing and repairing tires and you're paid by the hour. That's active income. So think of it as hourly income. You have an employer. That's going to be active income. Sometimes you get some passive income in those types of situations in the form of bonuses or things that happen in the background. But by and large, it is an active income type thing. And our society typically is based on a formula of active income and then removing all that income through a massive load of expenses. Most of you that are in van life, RV life, tiny houses, or digital nomads have come to the conclusion that one of the ways you can easily change this formula is by reducing your expenses down to a minimum to what you need to be happy and to function and to pursue your passions, but you still have not quite figured out how to get the income to come in to continue pursuing the lifestyle that you enjoy. So this series is going to be addressed towards that audience and setting up passive income streams. And I'll be talking about different kinds of passive income and my particular choice, which is in real estate investments, and how all of that works and why I feel, at least for me, real estate is a logical choice and probably would work for many of you. So what is passive income? Passive income would be sources like writing an ebook, an electronic book, a digital book. You spend considerable amount of time, might be months, might be weeks, writing a book and getting it reviewed, getting it edited, preparation, all that kind of stuff. And then when you release it into the world, however you do that with Amazon Kindle, whether you're selling it yourself, then that book is out there and it's being sold, say, on a website like Amazon Kindle, and it's generating money for years to come. So it's sort of like a big push in the beginning to get that set up, and then it rolls out passive income over time. Most passive incomes decrease. They start high, or they have a rise to a peak and then a slow decline over time. And this could be the same kind of thing. Like, let's say you buy a car wash, one of the auto car washes. One of those is like 4 or 5 stalls, big cinder block booths, and a coin-operated machine. And you set that up. You may have a large cash investment, $100,000, $200,000, get the thing set up, and then you have to pay small bills each month for water and electricity. And then you have maybe somebody that goes past or yourself and collects the coins. So this would be another example of passive income, a large setup fee or effort put into it, minimal maintenance, and if you don't improve it over time, the income stream gradually will taper off or remain at some sort of low level. Same is true with rental properties, purchasing a house and getting it rented. Then that rental income stream is coming in. It does require a minimal amount of effort to maintain the property and maintain correspondence with your renters to be able to have that income coming in. But you can get a good idea of what passive income is versus active income. The other thing I want to touch on in this video is the research that I did into passive income and active income, and why I decided to move in the direction of passive income. For my entire life up until age 45, I had been focused solely on active income with almost no focus on passive income. So this is a relatively new development for me in the last 5 to 8 years. There's two books that are the pivotal books, the most important books, in my opinion, for setting up intentional living and designing and building a lifestyle to facilitate your particular passion. Those two books are, first, Timothy Ferriss, The 4-Hour Workweek, and second, a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and I can never pronounce this guy's name. It's Robert Kiyosaki. Anyway, I'll put links down below to both of those. And let me explain why those books were pivotal to me. 4-Hour Workweek was pivotal in probably 5 or 6 different categories. One of the biggest things was thinking about work in a different way. Our Western society, either in Europe or the United States, basically teaches us to do something that you love. If you love animals, you start working at a veterinarian clinic or you become a vet. If you love mural painting, then you start a mural company or go to work for a mural company. That's what we are told as far as how we should approach our occupation. I get that, I understand that, and I believe that for 45 years of my life. I no longer believe that to be true. Today, I believe in pursuing my passions, mural painting, or for me, world travel. It could be for you flying kites or fly fishing or camping or whatever it happens to be, photography. Those are your passions, and I believe that you should drastically separate what you do to have your income stream from that, and it doesn't matter if it's related or not. What I think is important is to find an income stream that is compatible with your passions and facilitates your passions. If you can think about things in that kind of headspace to figure out the most efficient way to obtain the income stream that you need in order to facilitate whatever you're passionate about, I believe that's a better formula for success. And that income stream does not have to be related at all to whatever you're passionate about. It could be something totally unrelated as long as you don't despise it. I've never really had any desire or interest in being a landlord. Real estate and real estate investment is only sort of a marginal interest to me. It's not really a passion at all. But it does have an extremely high return for the investment and a very minimal amount of time that it requires of me, which frees me up to pursue my passions and to travel on an extreme budget. By the way, when I do my international travel, I travel for about $30 a day, $1,000 a month for all accommodations, all expenses, food, everything, all my flights, bus tickets, everything. So I'm a budget traveler. I live on about $12,000 a year, and so I needed a budget to facilitate that, and I've chosen real estate rental properties. You could easily do any number of other things, but I wanted to explain that entire framework and why I felt that was important. So the two books that I recommend are Timothy Ferriss's 4-Hour Workweek, and in there is a chapter that deals with prioritizing what your passions are and what you love in life, and it talks about separating the career that you go into from your passions, to find something that maybe you have a skill set for and an aptitude for, to develop that as an income stream, and then working that in a way that is a passive income stream rather than an active income stream, to allow you to facilitate allowing you to pursue your passions. So there's a number of different points there in the 4-Hour Workweek that I felt are pivotal in me changing my philosophy and the way I view work. Instead of punching a clock, going in at 8 in the morning and punching out at 5 and working 5 days a week, and seeing it as something that you should be interested in, to gravitating towards pursuing my passions and intentional living and finding a passive income stream to support my lifestyle. Book number 2 is Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Rich Dad, Poor Dad is an extremely famous book, and as the title conveys, you have 2 sons, and one father is extremely rich, and the other father is working with active income as a university professor, and nothing wrong with that, but it requires him to go to an office and to punch a clock and to get a salary as a result. And so if you stop working, your income stops. In the other scenario, it's about acquiring assets that bring you income. And that's one of the keys to passive income, is to find something that you own or a right that you have that will allow you to generate an income stream. For instance, I talked about earlier buying a car wash, and I'm talking the automated kind that's just like a little garage stall that you walk into with a spray nozzle and a coin machine. If you were to purchase something like that, let's say it's $100,000 and it has 5 stalls or something like that, and a coin operating machine, once you have your initial purchase and you've done your construction or purchased it from someone else, that generates an income stream and requires a little bit of maintenance to continue. So this video series is talking about that and how I went from where I was working hourly and having active income to passive income and pursuing my passions. So that's sort of a framework for this series that I'm going to be doing, and so I wanted to talk about those 2 resources, those books, which I would highly recommend you purchase and read. Just a tip, if you're into digital media and Kindle stores, you can go to your Kindle app and download samples, and usually you'll get 1 or 2 chapters at the beginning that you can read and start into it. At least gives you a feel for what's there, and you can figure out if you want to buy it to continue. But I think that both of those are invaluable, at least for me, and life-changing. I've read 4-Hour Workweek probably 3, maybe 4 times, and refer back to it every few months for insights and tips. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, I read 1 time, and I think you can get the concepts of that just reading through it and probably even just skimming the chapters. But again, a pivotal book in my life. Wow, this has been a lot of talking just to the camera today, and this series probably will be a little bit more of that instead of me leaving my rig and wandering around. Thank you so much for watching. Savor the moment, and I'll see you in the next video.